Hello students, in the last lecture I told you about the hexagonal crystal structure and diamond structure. So in this lecture I will discuss more about the crystal structure and some more properties of the crystals. So another structure is the sodium chloride structure. This sodium chloride structure is also an FCC structure, and here the two FCC structures are interpenetrated each other and they are separated by one half of the body diagonal of the unit cell. Here each ion is surrounded by six neighbors of the opposite kind. So as you can see here, the nearest neighbor to the chlorine ion are the six sodium atoms. So these are six sodium atoms. So that is why the coordination number for the sodium chloride structure is 6. Along with the sodium chloride, potassium bromide, magnesium oxide, and other have the same crystal structure. Now let's discuss the relation between lattice constant and density of crystal structure in cubic lattice. So as we know, lattice constant A of cubic crystal, and let the number of atoms per unit cell is small n, and rho is the density of crystal material. Then if the atomic weight of the material is capital M and capital N is the Avogadro number, then M by rho will be the volume which will contain n atoms, which is equal to the Avogadro number. So if there are n atoms, then the volume of the cell which will occupy these n atoms will be nm upon rho n. As the lattice constant is A, so the volume of the cubic cell will be A cube, and thus the two values will be same, and thus we will have a relation between the lattice constant and the density of the crystal structure. Now coming to the crystallographic points, direction and plane. So in a crystal lattice, different lattice points are situated in a fixed direction with respect to some reference lattice point. So here in the figure, if let's say this coordinate 0, 0, 0 is the reference lattice point, and there are other lattice points in the unit cell. If the reference lattice point is assumed to be at origin on coordinate scale, then the position of the other lattice point in the unit cell can be given by their coordinates, which are said to be direction of lattice point with respect to origin. So here are some examples. For the first one, here the coordinate of this point will be a0, 0. Now if we will divide this coordinate by the lattice constants, then here you see a00 is divided by abc, then we will have the direction of the point. Similarly for point 2, here the coordinate is a, b and 0, and if we divide it by the lattice constants, then we will get 1, 1, 0. Similarly, coming to the point 6 here, then if you see it is in the middle of the upper plane, so the coordinate is a by 2, b by 2 and c by 2, and if we divide it by the lattice constant, then we will get the direction of this point. Coming to the Miller indices, these are very important in the crystal structure, and it defines a combination of aggregates of set of parallel equidistant planes passing through the lattice points called lattice planes. So Miller was a scientist who bring the method to designate each set of parallel plane in crystal lattice by three number HKL, which is known as Miller indices. So how to find the Miller indices for the planes? So first you need to find the plane intercept with XYZ axis, and then when you find the intercept, then inverse those numbers. So after the inversion you will get some number. So if they are in the fraction, then convert them into the smallest set of integral numbers and then put it in HKL format. Here are some examples. So for the first one, the intercept of the plane on XYZ axis is 1, 1 and infinite. So you can see here, intercept here on x-axis is 1, on y it is 1, and on z it does not have any intercept, so we have infinite. Now if we inverse these numbers, then we will get 1, 1, 0, which is the Miller indices of this plane. Coming to the second example, here we have x is equal to 1, y 1 and z 1. So because it is having the intercept of 1, 1, 1. So now again if we reverse these numbers, then we will get the HKL as 1, 1 and 1. So in this way you can achieve the Miller indices for each plane. So what are the some important feature of the Miller indices? So if once we get the Miller indices for one plane, then it doesn't mean that it is only for that plane, but it defines all the planes which are parallel to this and is equidistant. If the ratio of the Miller indices of the two planes have same ratio, like here in the example, so you can see the ratio is same of each Miller indices, then the planes are parallel to each other. So if we have the Miller indices, what does it mean for a plane? So from the Miller indices, we can say that it will cut the three axes into the HK and L segments. So if like here, if we have the HKL is 1 to 1, then it will cut the x-axis in one part, y-axis in two part, and z-axis in one part again. Now coming to the separation between the lattice planes in cubic crystal. So let's say we have one cubic crystal with lattice constant A, and if HKL are the Miller indices of the plane ABC as shown here in the figure, then it will represent all the sets of planes parallel to this plane ABC. Now if we draw a perpendicular from the origin O on this plane ABC, then it will intersect the plane at the point N, and let's say if this distance ON is D1, then the intercept of the plane on the three axes will be OA is equal to A by H, OB is equal to B by K, and OC is equal to C by L. Now if this perpendicular is making angles alpha dash, beta dash and gamma dash with the three axes x, y, z, then from the figure here we can get cos alpha dash equal to d1 upon OA, cos beta dash is equal to d1 upon OB, cos gamma dash is equal to d1 upon OC. So putting the value of OA, OB and OC, we can further simplify this one. From the figure here, we can have ON square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, and putting the value of x, y and z. So from here you can see the z is equal to d1 cos gamma dash. So similarly x is d1 cos alpha dash and y is equal to d1 cos beta dash. So putting all these values, we will get this equation. Now we can see that if we put this value equal to 1, then it will satisfy the equation. So it means that the cos square alpha dash plus cos square beta dash plus cos square gamma dash is equal to 1. So now putting the value of cos alpha dash, beta dash and gamma dash from the previous slide, we will have this equation, and finally we will get the relation between this d1 and a. Now let's say we have another plane PQR parallel to the plane ABC, and its distance from the origin is d2. Then just like previous, we can have OA dash, OB dash and OC dash, and then we can also get cos alpha dash, cos beta dash and cos gamma dash in the similar fashion, and from there again we will have this condition, and when we will put the value of cos alpha dash, cos beta dash and cos gamma dash here, then we will get the value of d2. Now there are two planes ABC and PQR which are at distance d1 and d2 from the origin respectively. So the distance between these two adjacent planes will be d2 minus d1, and then we will have this separation between the two planes is equal to a upon under root h square plus k square plus l square.